Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of this week's news. I'm gonna be your host Vikings. If you wanna learn more about any of the news that we're gonna talk about in this video, just check out the links in the description. They are very nice articles for the most part, and I really recommend you go ahead and check them out. Let's take a look at what we have this week. 70 developers working on World of Darkness. THQ Creditors claim hundreds of millions. Witcher developer, DRM is worst thing in the gaming industry. Subscription plans now available on Steam. Some insight into Grand Theft Auto 5's radio. Thief's return allegedly hampered by setbacks at Eidos Montreal. Okay, let's get right into it. First up, 70 developers working on World of Darkness. EVE Online Studio, CCP Games, has provided an update on its long-in-development massively multiplayer online role-playing game World of Darkness. Massively reports that during the EVE FanFest 2013 this week, a CCP Games representative revealed that the game remains in pre-production and is being worked on by 70 developers. The vampire-centric World of Darkness was announced back in 2006 and is based on White Wolf's supernatural role-playing game franchise. Very nice. Now, I'm a big fan of MMOs, so obviously this is very good news for me. And while the information we have on this game is still limited, obviously, since it's in pre-production, I can tell you this. If it's gonna be anything like the trailer, set in an urban environment, I'm thinking kind of a combination between The Secret World and Hellgate London, then this game is gonna rock. I just hope companies will have learned by the time that this comes out that pay-to-play is no longer the future, and hopefully the game will be free-to-play or at least buy-to-play like Guild Wars 2. But considering this game will be developed by the guys from EVE Online, which is a 10-year-old game that's still pay-to-play, those two options don't really seem likely. THQ Creditors claim hundreds of millions. Numerous individuals and companies alike have come forward claiming THQ owes them hundreds of millions of dollars in the wake of the company's bankruptcy filing. Claims registered in the Kurtzman Carson Consultants database via Polygon reveal hundreds of parties are seeking money from the publisher for a variety of reasons. Walmart is seeking $1.6 million from THQ over a supplier agreement, while the Entertainment Software Association wants $190,000 for money owed over booth space reserved for this summer's Electronic Entertainment Expo. Developer filing claims include Codemasters, $1 million for unpaid game royalties, Double Fine, $595,000 for breach of contract related to stacking and Costume Quest, and Microsoft $213,000 for royalty payments related to Xbox 360 peripherals. More bad news for all THQ, may it rest in peace. It looks like THQ is in the water and all the sharks are having a feeding frenzy. This saddens me greatly, guys. THQ was a good publisher that brought interesting games, usually had good PC ports, and now it's gone. I don't know, let's just not dwell on this any longer. Moving on. Witcher developer, DRM is worst thing in the gaming industry. The Witcher developer, CD Projekt Red, believes digital rights management is the worst thing in the gaming industry. Speaking to Forbes, the Witcher 3 Wild Hunt project lead, oh boy, okay, I'm gonna try to pronounce this, Konrad Tomaskiewicz, something like that, let's just call him Konrad from now on, said that such measures negatively impact gameplay experiences. In my opinion, DRM is the worst thing in the gaming industry. It's limiting our rights to play games owed by us, Konrad said. Let's imagine that you have a game that requires internet connection to prove that you actually bought it. What if you lose your connection because of your internet provider? You can't play anymore. Konrad claimed that DRM does not stop piracy and is instead only a real pain for legal users. He said fans appreciate CD Projekt Red's long-stated anti-DRM stance and that these users on forums and elsewhere actively attempt to persuade would-be pirates to purchase a legitimate copy instead of downloading a game illegally. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm starting to like CD Projekt Red guys more and more. And obviously they are absolutely right. In 80% of the cases DRM does not remove piracy, all it does is hurt the people who actually purchase the game legitimately. We've seen time and time again that DRM is not gonna stop a good and popular game from being pirated unless you count always on DRM, which thus far, emphasis on thus far, remains unhacked. But as we've all learned by now, companies cannot be trusted with an always-on system. Not if you want to have an enjoyable experience at the very least. Let's look at it this way. I think that people that play your game can be split into three main categories. Legitimate customers, these are people who will buy your game pretty much no matter what. Let's say you have 45% of these. On the fence guys, these are people who buy the game if they are given no other options, but they usually turn to piracy for several reasons. Either the game comes out too late in their country, if it comes out at all, or it's censored, or they are just plain old cheapskates. And let's say you have 10% over here. And let's say you have true pirates. Now these are the guys that have never bought a game in their life, nor do they ever plan to. They will pirate a game no matter what, and if for whatever reason they can't, they'll just say, screw you, plenty of other games out there for me to enjoy. And let's say you have another 45% over here. In comes DRM. Let's see what happens. Well, you piss off your legitimate customers, you maybe gain some or all of the fence guys, and you don't affect the pirates in the slightest. So basically you alienate 45% to maybe get an extra 10%. That never made any sense to me, honestly. At any rate, I hope more and more companies start to figure this out and decide to spend their resources elsewhere rather than on the subscription plans now available on Steam. Beginning April 25th, Steam will offer subscription plans Valve has announced. The first supported title is Darkfall Unholy Wars, a massively multiplayer online role-playing game from Aventurin SA. A subscription for Darkfall Unholy Wars is $14.95 per month. Additional subscription-based games will follow, though none of these were announced. Steam users can now sign up for, manage, cancel, or renew subscription plans through the platform. Currently, Valve is not allowing users to gift a subscription plan to another user. Well, I think Valve really dropped the ball on this one. Didn't I just say 2 minutes ago that pay-to-play is not the future anymore? What, Valve doesn't believe us? Okay, let's give them some examples. The Secret World, Terra Online, Age of Conan, Ion, Star Trek Online, and the list goes on. Also, let's assume for just 1 second that I'm wrong and you are right, pay-to-play is not going the way of the dodo bird, and we will have plenty more successful subscription games coming soon. Even then, how useful is it exactly to have this on Steam? Because maybe Valve doesn't realize, but most people don't have multiple subscriptions. Either they can't afford it, or they just don't have enough time, but anyway, they usually just pick one game and they stick with it. Do you have 5 or 6 subs and are having problems managing them all? If so, please let us know in the comments below. As for the other 95% of us, how exactly is Valve gonna make things easier? Either way, you are still gonna have to open up a web page or application to manage it, so really what's the point? Bad move, Valve. I think your time could have been better spent elsewhere. Some insight into GTA 5 radio. Grand Theft Auto 5 is touted as this year's most highly anticipated game, and we have to admit we are getting very excited in the build-up to September's GTA 5 release. While many gamers wait patiently, various leaks about this game have accumulated, and information can be found on the web for those looking to find out about all the ins and outs of GTA 5. One of the minor but loved features in this franchise is the music on offer, and we have some insight into the GTA 5 radio stations available. According to an article on GamePer, it seems music producer Flying Lotus will have his own station, and this information has been obtained by FutureBeats subreddit, stating that Flying Lotus has recently announced this. Well, this is an interesting leak. The GTA 5 games always featured some pretty solid radio stations with a lot of awesome music in my opinion, so hopefully they won't let us down in this new title either. And for those of you who are Flying Lotus fans, please keep in mind that this is just a leak, nothing official has been announced yet, so don't get too excited please, just in case it doesn't come to pass. Thief's return allegedly hampered by setbacks at Eidos Montreal. While we're anxiously awaiting Eidos Montreal's reboot of cornerstone PC gaming franchise Thief next year, you might have wondered why we've only just begun to hear hard details about it this year. Its announcement of existence in 2009 was followed by years of public silence, which, we're learning now, was allegedly filled with quiet turmoil, office politics, and assorted strife. Will Thief's rocky journey show in the final product? The polished demo we saw at this year's Game Development Conference may not be indicative of Fifth's overall progress, an article on Polygon suggests. The single-level demo reportedly took 10 months to develop, 6 of which demanded the participation of nearly every member in the Fifth team. Numerous programming tricks were also required to get the demo running. Non-playable character AI was turned off, as the engine had trouble processing too many characters on the screen at a time. Oh god, please don't let this game suck, man. I know it has some problems with developers constantly changing around, but we've been waiting for a good Fifth game for quite a while now, and I really think we deserve it. However, if we were to look at what happened with Alien Colonial Marines, this looks like very grim news indeed. Pro tip for anyone concerned out there: if you think you can't handle and complete a project, then don't take it on to begin with, instead of throwing it around to a dozen developers. Listen to Miyamoto's wise words: a delayed game is eventually good, but a rushed game is bad forever. That's all we have for this week's news, guys. Thank you for watching my video, hopefully you've enjoyed it. If not, leave me some feedback in the comments below on how you think I could improve it. And until next time, you go and have yourselves an awesome weekend, guys.